All right. In this video, I want to show you my build. Show you by taking out a boss here, one of the Vault monsters. And tell me if you like this build. It's kind of a mixture of ideas I got from Moxie's build and from Chadley's build. And this part I'm going to show bossing, but I'm going to show you something kind of cool when it comes to mobbing. Something a little different, a skill that people aren't using that I find to be really beneficial. And it seems to be a bit OP in my opinion, but you can decide that when you see it, if you decide to watch it. But anyway, I just wanted to show you here that it's on hard difficulty. I don't know if that matters once you get to Ultimate Vault Hunter mode, because, yeah. But anyway, it's on hard, Ultimate. Vault Hunter rank 5. Just wanted to show you that. You can see that all clearly. And before we jump into this, I'll show you what I'm rocking here. Yeah, I'm on PS5, so yeah, the pictures aren't showing up right now. You know, some weird glitch. But we're going to use the Hellwalker here. I'm going to run through this a couple times, and I'm going to show you a couple different ways I go through it. But I'm going to show you just using the Hellwalker here. And I'm using the War Paint to boost the rate of fire during this. This really doesn't matter. I just have it because I like to use it while mobbing, and I have Deadeye. As you can see with Deadeye, I just got this 3-piece set right before deciding to do this video. So gun accuracy is kind of like, all right. The gun critical hit damage, that's where it's at. And that next one, every critical hit grants 15% critical damage per stack. Now, I'm not sure if this just works for the gun, since it says gun accuracy, gun critical damage, but then it says critical hit damage. So does that apply to also the skill damage, status effects, and everything else? I'm kind of hoping it does, but I'm not quite sure. And then we're using Rubber Man, so I got 5% damage reduction, 5% lifesteal for some survivability. You know, one offensive, one defensive setup here. This class mod, I'm using it because of a skill here, and I'll show you that in a moment. The class mod really doesn't seem to matter. Matter of fact, it might be better to use something like a scientist, where every time you shock an enemy, they get entangled and they irradiate, and this will spread to others. That might actually be the way to go. But there's a skill in here that I really enjoy using that I didn't spec points into, and I didn't realize how good it was until I was using this class mod, and I noticed a weird effect happening. But again, I'll show you that in the next video. And for the shield right now, since I have Deadeye on this one, I'm sticking with this one here, the Fireworks. So it gives me pretty good damage reduction. And it's pretty offensive, and it has 15% resistance to corrosive, which armor is susceptible to, so it helps out a bit there. But if we click on it here, there's other shields I like using. I haven't tried this one, I just got it, but I like the fact that the overshield, because what we're going to be doing in this build uses overshield, and we get bonuses from the overshield. And this one, I'm not crazy about the short circuit, because I'm not thinking our shields are going to go down all that much, and when they do, you can see that it has less than a second before it starts recharging, and we have skills that are going to boost up the shield. So yeah, when we on a kill, we can get a booster that boosts the overshield. When we do damage, we might even get overshield just by doing damage. And yeah, and again, 15% resistance to cryo, just a bonus there. I have a Ripper here. This one is pretty cool because we're going to be getting overshield, and when you have overshield, you get plus 25% damage, right? And on this one, we get the kill booster again. It would be cool if I had one where you do damage, you can get the overshield. This one, I was just kind of messing with. I got it. I haven't used it too much, but I just like the damage reduction. I think one of the reasons why I wasn't using it was because there's a voice with it, this lady that keeps talking, and I was just kind of like, it was funny at first, then got kind of annoyed. This one is really cool because super survivability with this one. Armor with 4 segments. I would recommend this one if you have trouble surviving, because you get the armor, you get damage reduction. Plus, every time one of those armor segment breaks, you're immune for damage for 2 seconds. And on this one, you get a 20% damage reduction that basically spread out into 4. So each segment gives you 5%. So when a segment comes down, you have 15% damage reduction. That's how it seems to work. And the movement speed, it's never going to really truly be broken, but you can do a little bit of movement speed. This one I just got, it might actually be the best one to use. A lot of people love it. It was good in Borderlands 3, the super soldier here. And you get some movement speed, ammo regen, fire rate, a lot of good benefits, right? The only thing is that I had this one first, and I already have Deadeye on it, and I like the survivability in this one. And I don't know if that one would be any better, but it's good that it has rad resistance on it. I don't have a good, what is it called? Enhancement here. I haven't found, I found like I think one legendary enhancement, and it's for COV parts, and I'm thinking of actually using it because I just found this COV right here, Burt's Bees, and it's actually pretty cool. It's a pretty cool weapon, and I'm going to show you something you can do with it here in this video. But right now I'm just using this because it boosts the fire rate, gun mag size, and even when I don't hit a crit, there's a chance to hit the crit. It's not the best, but I have Rubberman on it. I put it on there, and my other ones I don't really have anything. Right? I don't even have any good purples. Right? This one is critical damage increase. The only reason why I'm not using that one is because I like the fire rate and mag size, because I have 3 rounds instead of 2, so I get 2 shots with the Hellwalker, and because of the skills, I basically never have to reload, which I'll show you right now. This is my build. It's just a complete green tree build. So we have 5 out of 5 in momentum. Obviously, critical hit damage for you and your buddies. I think your buddies will love that. This one I picked because I wanted survivability, and a lot of my bonuses come from when the shield is up. So we're going with that. I put 2 points here. These 2 points, I guess you could put anywhere. A lot of people would like to put it here, but that's not going to be necessary. So I was like, you know what? Reload speed, that would be awesome, right? That, or fire rate, reload speed. This one, awesome. Over shields up, you get boosted gun damage, right? And of course, we're using the skill here, right? A nuclear winter. So while you're in that bubble, you get bonus cryo. There's times where you get knocked out of that bubble. I don't know if you noticed, but sometimes you can get knocked out of the bubble. You'll get that bonus radiation damage for a little bit, right? So that's kind of cool. We're going to use this skill here, group study. And instead of having your little bubble down, it's a bubble just around you. And if you're playing multiplayer, it goes around everybody. So you get boosted reload speed, fire rate, and gun damage. And it's a pretty badass skill. It's pretty fun because you can keep stacking it. Like every 3 seconds, you can hit your action skill again and again and again. And if you can keep your action skill up, you can keep stacking this so that you're just... It's insane. It really is. The only thing is to keep it going long enough to stack it. Chadley, he did it with freezing, right? But that doesn't work against bossing, right? So that's a bit of an issue. But to get down here, I put 4 into refraction, and I put just 1 over here so that our action skill, whenever we hit with an action skill, which will happen because while we're using this skill here, we're inside that bubble, we're going to do bonus cryo damage, and that cryo damage is going to count as action skill damage. So every time we get our first shot, all of a sudden, all our shots now are going to be guaranteed crits. Now, you could put more points in that if you want. If you want to go more crit damage, but I already got Deadeye, and I got some other stuff that I'll show you momentarily. And then I put this for survivability, and because we get more bonuses the higher the shields are, and when we get overshield, which uh, I was using this, but I decided to go here. I decided to go here because I end up entangling a lot of enemies, and then I can keep the action skill up longer. It's actually not needed. You could actually maybe just put 1 point here and put 4 points over here, so you can get more damage. I might actually do that, but for right now, I just wanted to do this just to, because you can get action skill power, right? So it boosts the damage, and it stacks up to 5. So you can get 50% bonus damage from this skill here, which, you know, I don't know if it's, I mean, I guess it's just as good as this, but you have to have a full overshield to get that 50% damage dealt, which is pretty good because it's not just gun damage, it's not just skill damage, it's damage, right? So that's a pretty good bonus, but yeah, that's what I was saying. I might put points there. And I put this here just to make sure every time a status effect happens, I'm entangling people. So they're getting entangled from this. I think I can entangle them with crits, entangle them when they get radiated or cryoed. So yeah, anytime they're entangled, they take 40% more damage. And if they happen to get close, like melee range, they get into that bubble of yours, they'll actually take 24% more damage, which I've actually noticed. There's times where people are low and normally a melee hit wouldn't kill them, but since I'm in that bubble and they came into the bubble, they're taking more damage than normal. And I didn't realize that it's actually beneficial in that little way, and that you can actually get the enemies in and out of your bubble by just getting close to them. Not that I recommend doing it, but you know, if it happens, it happens. Now, you don't have to use this skill. You could put points here. I didn't want to because I didn't want anything that was going to drain my shield. Not that it's a big deal, but I just didn't want it. What I decided to do instead is put points here. You know, not the best skill. So I understand if you don't want to go with gun handling. I mean, it's kind of like, meh. I guess if you're going to use the anarchy, I just found that that might help in some of these other weapons. Like some of the Vladoffs that are really good, sometimes they're a little shaky. This might be beneficial, but this is where it's at here. When you critical hit an enemy, you have a chance to entangle it and get more ammo, right? And with a lot of these things, I won't have to add any, I won't have to even reload, right? But you probably don't even need 5 points there. But I spent the 5 points here because I wanted to put some points here where we're going to get 24% bonus damage. It doesn't change our damage. It adds 24% bonus radiation damage every time we crit. And since we're using this setup, we're going to be critting all the time. So when we activate our action skill, right, we have this little bubble around us, we're going to be doing cryo damage. And then when this kicks off with the first shot, every hit we hit is going to be critical, so that we're constantly also doing bonus radiation damage. So we're doing, like with the Hellwalker, we're doing the kinetic damage, then we're doing cryo, which does really good against armor, and then we're doing radiation, which does pretty good against shields. So with that alone, we're wrecking house just with that, right? So with specializations, this might take you a while to get to here, but I got 20 in Survivor, which boosts health and shield. And so I can use this, get damage reduction when the shields are at max capacity. And since we're going to be using overshield a lot, that's going to happen. So we're going to have a constant 30% damage reduction for the most part. And then we're also going to have a plus 30% damage dealt. This is just damage, right? Another reason why I didn't put more into the skill that had to do with the overshield skill, because here we get damage dealt when we have our shields at max capacity. Now, this could represent health if your health is actually higher than your shield, but in my case, that's not the case. And then I'm using this skill here, riddle you this, and if you're aiming down sight, you can end up getting a bonus 50% gun damage, right? And that pretty much ends up happening a lot of the time, and I'll show you. And then sharpshooter, that's what I'm using for right now. I would want to get to one shot, one kill, where the excess damage is carried over, and I'll end up switching that out for probably this skill here. No, it's not this one. Wait, I think I got my skills mixed up. Oh, this is the one with the aiming with the bonus gun damage and critical hit damage, where you get 25% gun damage and the critical hit damage. I'll probably end up switching this one out for this one here to see which one's better. But then I want to get into Daredevil so that not so much for the action skill cooldown, but I want to see the action skill damage because it'll be boosted by the gun damage, right? And I want to see if this ends up doing more damage. As simple as that, right? This last one, the critical hit, we're automatically doing crits. I don't know if it's just the guns or if it's the guns with the bonus action skill damage is getting crits, but this could be super powerful. So I'll end up trying this one and then this one to see which one will be my fourth skill. Either this one here, or I'll stick with this here, right? But for now, that's what we got going. SDUs doesn't matter. I'm just checking to see where I'm at. There. 1 away from maxing out pistol, 3 away from lost loot, and then we're done. All right, so that's that. Let's do it. Thank you for your patience in watching all that. But I'm going to go through this like 3 or 4 times with different setups just to show you just how this works. It's not going to be as dominating as you see a lot of the other guys do, but it's effective. Usually I melt up a little bit faster than this, but since I'm doing a video, obviously I'm sucking ass. If you double jump at the right time, when he lands like that, that won't get you. The next way I'm going to show you is actually a lot faster than this. I just wanted to show you that if you want to take the time, you can do it this way. And I also wanted to show the survivability here. Like all his attacks, I'm not really worried about it. Alright, I just want to check that legendary. It's like a class mod. I don't know if that's any good. I think I'm going to use an Ammon next. Maybe Rafa, I'm not sure. It's between those two who I'm going to do next. But anyway, let's just check the chests. See if we get anything good. I'm not using, as far as I know anyway, I'm not using anything glitchy that's kind of breaking the game that's not intended. Looks like it's all junk. Now I'm going to show you a different setup. This one works probably the best. And this is what I usually use to boss with. The setup right now is basically mobbing and some of the smaller bosses. But when it's a big boss like this, I'll switch to this here, the air burst with the Torg, because I get a mag size, fire rate, and something with the air burst. I don't know if it does extra damage or what, but it seems to do something pretty cool here. Because with this weapon here, the bod that I ended up getting actually has Torgs on it. And I decided to play with it. And this thing is just, I'll just have to show you. Right, so you can have it the regular Torg stickies, or if you run out of ammo, you can use assault rifle ammo. I didn't realize how low I was. But this thing's going to be real efficient when it comes to ammo, because we're just going to constantly restock it. So if you're hitting shots, you're never going to have to reload. But I'm probably going to miss all my shots because, you know, it's just how it is. Ah, crap. Thank you for your patience. I forgot to hit the thing. You know, you probably yelled at me, hey, go to Moxie, but... Where am I? Oh, crap. I thought I was at the vending machines, but... Nope. There we go. I think that is a pretty cool addition to the game. The constantly exit and reload and everything. And the load times in this game vastly improved. Alright, so let's get out of his way. Let's double jump. Didn't quite time it right. This thing's just gonna frickin' melt this guy. You can reload at any time or switch firing modes and trigger all of them, but I like to just keep going. I've almost crashed the game a few times, just keep going here, because I like to keep hitting my action skill, so that by the time I want to reload, like right here, I switch it, he's done. I could have done that probably sooner, but I wanted to just keep laying it into him. So you can see, this one was a lot faster, and I'm pretty sure if I built my build around this, it might be even better. Right? But this is basically what I use to melt bosses. But I wanted to show you that I don't even have anything good for that. What is it called? Vladoff here? This new one here. This thing. Like, I would like to have something better than this. Right? Like maybe an extra round. 30% chance to fire an extra round with a mag size. But this is what I got for right now. I think I have something better in the bank, but this is what we're going to use along with this Burt's Bees here. And yeah, we're just going to go to town. We're also going to use the taser on him. I keep forgetting that we have to do the red chest. Usually I don't use this one, but I think this could be really good. You can find one of these with like Jacob Ricochet or something. I don't know if that's possible, but that would be pretty insane. Basically now with gear, only looking for certain purples and for malware, whatever they call it. And I've only had twice legendaries actually show up in one of those chests. Yes, I know. Go to Moxie. I remember this time. So this can actually work. It's not as effective, but it can work. Whoops, I thought I was on the table. These home, so you don't really have to aim, and I'm constantly going to get crits. And this was working way better the last time I was doing this. So I don't know what the deal is here. But you can see this one's not as effective. So but it's workable because of the durability, right? But just to get through this, we're going to switch things up. Hit the wrong thing here. Let's go to our Torg. Like this one might do good because you get 50% of the gun damage on impact with the stickies. So you know we're going to try this one because we don't really need the fire rate because we got this shot here. And we're going to switch right before we lose our... You see how easy that was there? I wanted to click that before our access skill ran out, so I get all that bonus damage. But I guess it doesn't matter because we still would have got the radiation. I don't know if this is any good, but... So that's that for this video. Just wanted to show you that there. I'm going to stop this here, and then I'm going to do one showing you how this is even better mobbing. Like the bossing, I'm not going to say is like totally earth-shaking. I mean, it can be done. Because I think it's a mixture of doing really good damage with survivability. But I didn't go down at all there, and I was just kind of walking around, not really jumping, not really dodging. And I wasn't worried about going down with all his attacks. Right? So, yeah. But it's even better at mobbing. It's super tanky. Tons of damage. So stay tuned for that if you want to check it out. I'll show you how that works. And yeah, thank you for your time and attention. Don't forget that you never know when your time's up. You never do. You know, we get to enjoy things like this and praise God for that, but you never know. You get stressful one of these times, trying to build a build, trying to find something, and you get worked up, you have a heart attack, you have an aneurysm, and you're done. And then you got to face your maker and answer for your life. So get right with God while you can if you haven't, because you really don't know when your time's up. So with all that being said, thank you for watching. Take care. I'll see you in the next one.